If you're messing with Ouija boards in your home and you don't close it out, that's another good way, because many people think with the Ouija boards, yeah, they're good and well if you know how to use them and your intentions are good, but if you don't know what you're doing with them, you will let the Z, and then I don't say his name because when you say their names, you call them forward. So when you let that one in, you got what I'm talking about? Yeah, you let them in, they will wreak havoc in your house, on your life. They can lay dormant for years. That's why they're very rare. They'll lay dormant and they're the perfect opportunists. They're the perfect liars. They will stand there and disguise themselves as a child because the child's innocent. So they'll disguise themselves as a child, and you think you got a child spirit in your house. If you believe what Ed Warren says, God does not let a child inhabit a doll or stay down here. He brings the child up there.
All right, I'm gonna tell you something, okay? How I got started in this field. Because I died in that car accident. And I see things that the people can't. And, you know, when we talk to people, I read them, we have papers and sign, and because it text them, and it's hard to get home.
We take what we do very seriously, so we get a little emotional with it because we deal with a lot of past trauma and a lot of kids. We see a lot of that stuff. And I mean, with residential too, it's not always paranormal. We go in a residential case, we find other stuff that's going on. We find sexual molestations.
Everything.
We find the house is not livable, that the kids should be taken away. We worked one case where we walked in and this house should have been bulldozed, is how bad it was. They were living in one room of the house. The wife, she was she was over here illegally from the Philippines. She had her baby over here. She was experiencing stuff because of all the negativity that was going on in this home. The house was full of roaches, rats. The dog, they would not let the dog outside. The dog ran a hole upstairs. They kept him shut between the stairs and the living room. And we go upstairs, there's dead rats everywhere, there's feces. Another case we had worked in Missouri, the woman she's a recovering meth addict. She called us in because she met us at a Paracon, and she called us in to come and help. She thought there was some paranormal activity going on in her home, which there was. It was her brother that was haunting the house, looking after her because of her being on meth. Well, we start digging a little deeper and come to find out her husband molesting his stepdaughters in the actual home they live in. And with that, we're also kind of like mandated reporters. We have to hotline that stuff because they could come back on us. And that's stated right in our paperwork that we have them fill out, that if we spot anything like that, we do have to call it in. But we do give the option to the client, like her, we said, we give you till Monday, hotline them, or we're gonna have to do it because that's unacceptable. This is what's causing it, and that her brother was there looking out after the stepdaughters because of what that guy was doing, and that guy is now locked away in prison.
How would you feel if you came home and seen your little baby right off the tree? We see
It gets scary for a client when they're seeing their kids reacting to it. Middle of the night, they can't sleep in their own room because they're scared of something, or they're raised off the bed, or they're hearing stuff on baby monitors are a good example. because the parents are listening to it and they start hearing all these strange voices coming across there, like, it shouldn't be there. Another case he worked in Kirksville, Missouri, a guy was actually playing with occult practices he knew nothing about, just stuff he was researching online, and he was playing with